All right, hello everybody. This is John from WeBeam TV. Thank you for wanting to be a remote guest on one of our shows. So what we're going to do here is we're going to show you how to be a great remote guest. Now, if you look over here, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you need to read through. It's kind of like our requirements. You don't have to do it, but the more that you follow, the better it will be. So we have friends at vMix, which is the software that we use in-house to do all of our production. They put together a great little video on how to be a great remote guest. Now, because we don't use some of the software they do, we're going to use the portion of their video that shows you how to be a good guest or a great guest. And just listen to Tim. He will walk you through it, and then I'll be back after that video to actually walk you through using Zoom, which is what we use in-house to do remote guests. We'll be right back.
G'day everyone, and welcome to Who Wants to Be a Remote Guest with your host, Tim. With more and more people trying to connect to live video productions, we thought it would be a good idea to go over some quick tips on how to be the best remote guest that you can be. Firstly, let's take a look at equipment. As a basic recommendation, we suggest using a laptop or desktop computer for connecting to a video call. That can be a MacBook, Windows laptop, Surface, or a desktop computer. As vMix Call connects using a browser, we've found that browsers on these devices tend to be more stable and up to date. We recommend using the latest version of Chrome on them, although we'll link the description with a bunch of different other compatible browsers as this changes all the time. Laptops or desktops are also more physically stable, meaning that you're not going to be moving them around, which makes your video much more watchable. Now, I have seen people with their laptops walk around like this, and as you can see, it's a little bit unsettling trying to watch somebody do their production like that, especially if they're on a phone and they're moving it around a lot. So please make sure that you have your laptop or your desktop on a stable surface and not moving it around a lot. Not all of us have our sea legs. Laptops and desktops also give you the opportunity to easily add a higher quality USB webcam or microphone. The inbuilt ones usually work really well and they're simple to set up because they're on by default, but you can always make your video and audio better by using a cheap webcam or a microphone. So using like a Logitech or a Microsoft webcam like this one here, it's going to give you some great camera quality. Now, using a USB microphone, like a blue microphone like this here, or a microphone like this here, USB microphone, it's going to give you more clarity. It's going to also allow you to bring your microphone a lot closer to your mouth like this. So that's what you want. Whereas if you've got it on your laptop, it may be a little bit further away and you're not going to be as clear to people that are listening. Now, another tip for a better quality microphone is to potentially use one that you have here, like on your headphones and earphones that have a microphone built into them, which also brings me to headphones. Use headphones. Okay, so I'd let that sink in just a little bit because we always recommend that you use headphones if you can. If you're using speakers, the audio from your host can then feed back into your microphone, which then comes through with your audio as well into their production, which is not what you want. So you want to make sure that you're using headphones. Doesn't matter what you use, you can pretend to be a DJ and use these type of headphones, in-ear headphones, whatever you want to use. Now, a lot of people do use smaller headphones, earphones like this, so in-ear ones that they can kind of feed around their ears so no one sees them. You could always grow out your hair as well if you wanted to cover that up, or you could potentially wear a wig. Now, Bluetooth headphones can be a little bit tricky with sync using on a computer, but if you've got them working on your computer, then they should be okay. Now, if you wanted to take your video call production up a level, you could use a dedicated camera like a mirrorless or a DSLR and connect that up to a capture device. So then you can connect up that video into your browser so you've got really good quality. Again, you could also use a dedicated microphone as well and just make that the audio source on your browser. Now, if you are forced to use a mobile phone, iOS with Safari will give you a better quality than an Android device. Please keep your phone on a stable surface. I just can't handle seeing people walking around like this going, "Hey guys, it's great to be on your show." And it's like, what are you doing? I just don't quite understand it. Maybe use something like a pop socket or prop up your phone so that you can sit it on your desk or a table and you're not moving it around. Unless you're doing some sort of boat simulator live stream, then maybe go for it, but do your best to keep it on a stable surface. Now, the final thing to remember with equipment is make sure that it's plugged in or fully charged, especially your laptop. Try and make sure that it is plugged into power. Sometimes with laptops, they go into power saving mode or they turn off if they don't have enough power and all that kind of thing. So make sure it's plugged in. Internet bandwidth. Now, if you're connecting to a video call, you want to make sure that you have at least a 5 megabit upload connection. Now, some people might see this as underwhelming. Some people might see this as overwhelming. We think it's about right on the whelming scale. Ideally, you'd want more than 5 megabit, maybe 10, 20, 50, 100 megabit if you can, just so that you've got plenty of headroom. Now, this is one of the more important things. So you can do plenty of tests like a network test, a speed test to see how much upload speeds your connection is capable of. Now, you want to kick everyone else off your network so they're not hogging up your bandwidth. You don't want someone on your network streaming 4K Netflix or uploading their latest prank videos to YouTube. Now, I'm also a fan of using wired internet over Wi-Fi just to guarantee your best connection. So on whatever device you're using, your MacBook, your laptop, your Surface, make sure that you don't have other browsers open, other tabs open. You're not watching the live stream of the live stream. You're not downloading Netflix. You're not trying to download Windows updates while you're on a video call. You want to have the best connection possible. Now let's talk about location. For video, make sure that you're in a location that provides a nice backdrop. Sometimes you might need to be a little bit creative, but everyone should have a place that can provide a non-distracting background. Also, try to make sure that you're well lit from the front. Sitting in front of a bright window isn't going to be the way to do it. It's going to make you look dull, and nobody wants to look dull. So make sure that you're lit from the front and not from the back. Now, for your audio location, try to avoid noisy and echoey places. Locations like toilets and garages are probably not going to be the best place to do a video call from. Carpeted areas that provide some sound masking or sound deadening are always a good spot and going to be better than something like a tiled area. Anywhere where you can manage your audio and not be outside or near a loud window or something, that's going to be your best bet. Now, it's also really good if you can be in a room, lock the door, in order to prevent dogs, family members, and bees from getting in and causing a fuss. Camera position. Now, one thing that I keep seeing is the inside of people's noses. Is that a new fad? Now, I'm not all that self-confident about the inside of my nose. So I like to make sure that I frame my shot. So ideally, you want to keep your camera at eye level like I have here, and you want to do your best to fill out the frame vertically as well. Now, this is why it's important to be able to have like a stable camera position on your laptop or a tripod so that you can properly frame yourself. Now, a tripod like I have here with my little webcam, now that works really well, but sometimes if you're stuck, I've used an ironing board before or a shelf, something with a stable flat area that you can put your laptop or your camera on to achieve that eye level. It's always important to be looking down the camera and not up someone's nose like so. So I apologize for doing that. Another tip is if your microphone is in front of you, try and speak at the microphone. So as you can see here, I've got a microphone right in front of me. This is a shotgun mic for my production. If I start turning away like this, like I have been in this tutorial, it's hard to hear what I'm saying. So if you've got a webcam set up like this on your computer, try and speak at your webcam, which has the microphone next to it, so that people can hear you loud and clear. During the show, so try and give your host your undivided attention. Try not to be multitasking with 40 programs open on your computer that might be distracting you. Try not to have people running around and doing other things. So do your best to look at the camera directly and not at your own screen. So make sure you're looking directly at the camera. Now, this might be a little bit difficult if your laptop is a little bit further away than your camera. So just do your best to look at the camera as much as possible. Another important thing is to act like your microphone is on all the time. So if you're on a video call with someone, pretend like everyone can hear you, because they probably can. So make sure that you save your colorful language, your coughing and your spluttering and all that kind of stuff, and your Britney Spears impersonation for later on when you're not on a video call and being live streamed to hundreds of thousands of people. So as a really quick recap, I recommend using a laptop or desktop if you can, add a better webcam or microphone if you have one lying around, and use headphones. Use a reliable internet source. Make sure that you're sitting somewhere with a nice or plain backdrop without any distracting noises around. Make sure that you test everything before you start the show, and finally, try and give your host your undivided attention.
All right, that was a great video. We want to thank Tim from vMix. They make everybody look great, and they gave you great information on how to be a great remote guest. Now, the reason we're jumping in here is because we use a product called Zoom. Zoom we've been using for about 4 or 5 years. We're not new to it, and the way we do it, it works really, really well. But I'm going to show you right now on how to make sure you've got your audio and video set up, because this always seems to be the biggest problems. So Rob's going to show you our Zoom side. So on the bottom down here where it says, you see the little microphone and you see the little camera icon. If you go to the microphone setting and look through there, this is where you're going to see your audio set up. So if you're using a microphone, you put your microphone, you click that microphone. And if you're looking for it now, just like Tim said, you always want to use headphones so you don't have that roll back into the audio. But right here is where you get to choose all your different types of settings. So if you have unfortunately, if you're listening to it on your laptop and you don't have headphones, you'll do the speakers, or then you'll pick your headphone out of here as well. Same thing if you go over to video. So because we have our machines are hooked up to a lot of different sources, you'll go in there and you just find your wonderful little input and click the one. It'll be a high definition camera, and that's what you'll choose. Whatever your camera name is where this will be in. Now, I'm going to show you something real quick about you need to make sure thirds. There's so many times that we get it where this is what we get, one head. That's not what we want, because when we put a lower third up under your name, it's going to look weird, right? You're going to be like Kilroy. Remember Kilroy back in the back in the thing? It was where it's just that little hand and two little hands. That's what we do not want you to be. We want you to be thirds. Like this is a third and this is a third, right? So you get the bottom, the middle, and the top. You want to make sure that you're sitting up straight. And look, for our purposes, we know that the whole Zoom background thing is really super cool, but don't do it. Just make sure you have a nice clean set behind you. Your dogs and cats and animals and husbands and kids, they're away. If you're doing this from your home, if you're doing this from your office, you want to have a nice body shot, just like this. Nice professional shot, right? You definitely do not want the monster head inside there. That's not what you want. All right, so that being said, if you've got any questions, let us know. If you are going to be a remote guest on a show for WeBeam TV and you have questions, email us or call us, and we will be glad to answer any question you have. And thank you for watching this. We really do appreciate it and look forward to seeing you on one of our shows.